Hi guys, welcome to episode 2 of the O Academy Beginners class. We're here to talk about what are the things that need to be considered when you're designing. I'm not here to teach you on how to fully design from conceptualization to ideology, like thinking of the old designing stuff of this thing. What I want to help you with today is how can you better your design. This today I want to share you the I want to share you my personal stops on how well I know what beginners suffer with. Like these are the kinds of stuff that you have issue with, and these are the kinds of stuff that you would meet with and you would understand. So you will be talking mainly on what you need to consider while designing, and they could be a lot, but there are just a few for you to be very, very careful of. Now we'll be talking mainly on fonts, colors, and a little bit of the principle of designs. Remember we said last week we talk about colors. Mainly we were supposed to just design in black and white to help your ideas. You understand? But now we're designing just a little bit of colors. So the first thing I'm trying to consider is like the colors itself. Now, as a beginner, I would tell you not to design with colors of trying to use two or different colors, trying to use gradient and stuff. What I would tell you to do is use one colors, just one colors on your design. And when I say colors, I don't say one color, one colors. Now, a color can be divided into a lot of colors. In what sense? Um, sorry. A color can be divided into a lot of colors. Now, let me show you how a color can be divided into a lot of colors. Sorry. Let's come to this. A color can be divided into a lot of colors. Now, if you want to pick a color online, what do you usually do? If you want to pick a color for your design, you usually just go to your design, pick a color that you feel like is good. How do you pick colors? You come online, you search for palette. What are palettes? Palettes are palettes are a group of colors that work together. A group of colors that work together to create something. Palettes. No, I don't want to show. I don't want to show you a palette itself. I want to show you a palette from nature. Let me just search for nature palette. This one shows you palette from distance, from nature. It's like images of the air. Yeah, you see, in this picture you have this whole place as this thing. So where do they pick their colors from? They pick the colors from all of this stuff, and it balances themselves. And you see all of these colors that you see here, they all balance themselves. So you can easily copy these kinds of palettes to use in your design. But me personally, I won't advise you to start using all these kinds of stuff in your design, because you are still a beginner. So what's my advice for you to use? There are different types of color combination. Now, in a palette, you have different combinations. You will have you could have a combination in which it just stems from the kind of what you are looking at. It's like let me see, a tech palette. Yeah, you see, it comes from stuffs that you see this one. It comes from this one. You see this one. This is a palette that you could use, but it's like a combination of colors from what you are looking at. You understand? Now, combinations of colors are generally into different places. There is the monochromatic color, there is the analogous color, complementary color, and they are still more, up to like 8 or 9, with the ones that are just freehand. Now, what are these color palettes? Why am I talking to you about color palettes? If you're trying to read a book, if you're trying to get a knowledge of a certain thing, let me see, you're trying to get why your phone button is not working. No, let me not use that. You're trying to be knowledgeable on something. What do? You go online to search, right? You go online to search, and there are books which tells you what is there. Now, graphic design comes with books. It comes with books that makes your life easier, in the sense of, if you want to design, you don't need to just stick to your thinking. Just stick to your thinking and just work on your thinking and just design. You don't need to stick to it at all. What you need to do is, you need to be able to interpret what others have done. It's like you're looking at your ancestors and you're learning from their mistakes. They have made several mistakes. They have made several mistakes. So what could help you? Okay, sorry. Still here. Am I still recording? Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm still recording. Okay. So what could help you? What would help you as a designer is you learning from their mistakes. Now, I'm here to tell you about these mistakes and the corrections that they have done, because I have noticed the mistakes while correcting a lot of beginners. Now, they try, in the aspect of colors, they try to use different colors, and they try to use, although some are the creative types that try to use colors in different aspects. Like, they go and maybe they look at something they can see physically and try to draw color from it. So mostly you get it wrong by trying to do that. Now, for a beginner, my suggestion for you is to start using monochromatic color palettes. Monochromatic color palettes are colors of, like, you have one color, but you have it in colors. Now, it's like, when I say, remember I was saying you have one color, but one colors. Now, this is one color. All of this is just a color, you understand? But they can be subdivided into different colors. It's like you have a darker one, a more lighter one, a more lighter one, a more lighter one, and the lightest one. You understand? It's like you're trending in, and you're trending in. Now, let me show you where all of this works. Now, you see this. This is a beautiful art. You're looking at flowers, right? It's not like they designed the flower. They didn't design the flower. You can see that, looking at the flowers, you can see that this part this part of the flower is darker than this part. It's darker than this part. It's darker than this part. It's darker than this part. You could see there are lines in the middle, which is darker than mostly everything. And everything is coined from one certain color. You understand? It's like you just get the darker part of the color to highlight what you're trying to see. You get the lighter part of the color to highlight what else you're trying to see. Now, the darker part of a color is meant to highlight the lighter part of the color and separate. Let me show you a perfect example of that. Look at this. You have the darker part of a color as this line here, as this line. Now, the ones that are lighter are the ones in the middle. It's like you're looking at something that is dividing something. It's like you're looking at black and white. Black is dark and white is this thing. So looking at the darker part enhances you to see the lighter color. You understand? So what I'm trying to tell you is that when you are designing, You could use a dark color as the background, use the dark color as the background, and use a lighter color as the main focus of the background. Do you get me? You can use a light color as the main focus of the background. Let me see. Monochromatic color scheme. Now you see, this is like a movie scene, all in one colors, all in monochromatic, everything all green. They are coming from the green color, right? Now green, we have the darker greens. These are all the darker greens. Can you see darker greens? Just on this darker green itself to highlight. Now I'm sorry, I don't want it to feel like this thing, but you would understand what I'm trying to say. To highlight the fact that she is a lady, to highlight the fact that she is a lady, this dark part is highlighting this place that it comes up. Do you understand? Look at E also. This is a dark part. Sorry, this is a dark part. Then this is lighter because it is different. That's another effect of using a dark and a light part. You understand? You use one as a dark part, you use one as a light part. It shows the difference in, you can use it to show the difference in size, use it to show the difference in what you're trying to do, the difference in levels, the difference in placement. You understand? Now for you to just use the darker colors, you know that it is easier. Just come online and search for let me see, let's say you're using yellow brown color, brown monochromatic color palette, yellow brown monochromatic color palette. It gives you that color palette. You understand? If you just come online, download one and see, you have this. But me, I would like to, let's say, I don't know if you'll be able to design, but let's see. Let's say we have a blue sky. Let's say a blue sky. Yeah, a blue sky is more adequate. Yeah, because I'm looking at this. This color is like blue, and it's also leaning towards the purple. So let's say let's just write it, make it obvious as one of the things that helped. Blue, purple, monochromatic, this thing. Come to images and check. Yeah, this is looking like this thing. Yeah, you can see blue, violet. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. You could use those 4. I'm not going in depth into what you will need for this thing. So for now, maybe let's just download this. I love to spore. You could use it. Now the second thing to consider in a design, you've considered color, because I know that's one of the first things that affects you. The second thing that could affect you is the font. The font. Fonts are what? What are fonts? Fonts are this stuff that you use to write. Anything that is written on a design. Anything that is written on a design, we call it typography, right? Typography in the sense of it is everything all written on the front. But when it comes to what is used to write it on, like what do we use to write this Happy New Year is the question. We use font. We download font. F-O-N-T. We download font to use. You get? We download font to use. Now there are 2 types of specific fonts that you would need to know about. There is the sans serif font and the serif font. Now let me show you the serif fonts. We have serif fonts are fonts that are mainly used in the old days. In the olden days. See, can you see what I'm saying? The Google itself is very smart enough that it changed the font of this stuff to a serif font. Now, what makes a serif font good? Serif font has all these corners, all these little corners that make the font very tiny. So when you print them out, sorry, when you are looking at it on the system, the system is done in box, and when these boxes are closely tied to each other, they start to disturb your eyes and you can't really read. So we don't really use sans serif when we're designing for something that would be for something that would be shown on the phone. They use it mainly for things that would be used for printed. It's like you're saying anything it's anything that has all this kind of stuff, all this stuff like this is called serif. So we use it for stuffs like that. Printing, anything that you are printing, you could use it for it. But now they use it for luxury, to show luxury. Use it to show luxury in this thing. It's like when you're looking at it, it looks timeless, it looks good. It doesn't just look. It's like look at this. How does this look? This looks good, although it might be disturbing your eyes, but it looks good. It looks good. Now imagine it in a very, very big, see. Imagine it in a very, very big design. Like, yeah, see the A. See how it looks. It stands alone. Stands alone. It's not like the regular normal this thing. Now the other kind of font is the sans serif. Sans serif font are font. Sans is, I don't know. I think sans is a Roman, no, is a Spanish word. Let me see. Sans. What's the meaning of sans? Um, what does sans mean? I know the meaning of sans. Okay, yeah, sans is a French word. Sans itself is a French word which says no or without. So when we call it sans serif, we say no serif, without serif. Now, what do you mean by no serif, without serif? Just right here, we said serif fonts have this corner stuff, all this corner stuff. Now, when we talk about sans serif, we say they don't have this thing. No serif, no serif, no serif. Do you understand? Now, sans serif font has been the highlight of the industry because they make things easier, but they just tend to be boring. They tend to be boring. That's the only stuff. Now, which is why I used these kinds of fonts that combine both sans serif and serif. This is actually a serif font. This is actually a sans serif font that is combining a little bit of the attribute of the sans serif font. In what sense? You can see it's looking unique. These kinds of fonts looks unique. They are called Gotex fonts. Because I don't know why they are called Gotex fonts, but I believe that the reason why they do them like this is because they illustrate the future. It's like what are we trying to do at the moment? What we are trying to do at the moment is to bring this and this together. So how can we bring them together and make them look lively and look very lively and fun? Is Gotex font. And let me search them for you. You see, Gotex font. You see them now? Can you see? Industry style sans serif font. It's a sans serif font. They have the serif attribute, but they are not serif font. They have this serif attribute, but they are not serif font. But they look classy. They look like this is what we want to be working with. You understand? Try and get on something that looks good, like the future. You understand? So they make sense when it comes to tech, which is why in this design is for a tech, is for a tech community. So it works well for the tech community. Now, what are the things that you consider when you want to use a design? Now you consider if you are using a sans serif font, a serif font, or any other kind of font. There are a lot of different kind of font, but I would just like you to stick to sans serif and serif font. Now, example of serif font is the Times Roman, Calibri, Verdana, Helvetica is not. Those kind of fonts that you use on MS Word. You know, those kind of font that you use on MS Word that just pops up, that they have been using before, pops up, that has those listed examples of this thing. Now, because you are mainly, you want to print on Word, is why those fonts are the top charts as of back then. Now you see fonts like Arial, 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 which isn't the top chart, but they are the kind of ones that are used mainly of today. They use Arial, they use Calibri also because it's also close to a sans serif font. Now, in this design, in a design, you need to consider the kind of font with respect to what you're doing. If you are trying to show that it's a transportation company, you want to show that they are fast, and you know what you mean by fast. Know what you mean by fast. You get like bold, just be fast, just be fast. So how do you illustrate that? You illustrate that by putting your font in italic, and those are like I'm missing. Sorry, those are the features of a font. Those are the features of a font. In the features of a font, you want a font to look fast, or to look like it is moving, or to look like you are giving a movement to a font. You can use italic, that italic in a font. It makes your design lean to the front like this. It makes your design lean to the front like this, and it looks like it is leaning forward. It's like your normal artist, all this your running, these people that run, yeah, these people that run, it looks like them. They are standing, or they are actually about to run. You understand? That's one. Now, if you want it to look bold, if you want it to look bold, like to look like a giant, that's when you use bold. Now, remember I talked about Gotex font. This Gotex font are an example of a sans serif font. Now, if you want your font to look more bold, there are other fonts that makes it look more bold. If you want your font to look more um of like it is running, there are fonts that makes it look more running. Now, the obvious way is to make it very, very obvious. Just come and search for strong font. Strong font. You see different fonts that illustrate strong. Can you see how this one is looking like it's illustrating strong? Let me see. This also, it's not a tall font, but it still looks like that. Now we also look for running font, right? Running font. Can you see what I was saying? They are mainly at italic. Are mainly at italic running font. Now, the only thing that makes your design looks better is if you understand what kind of font you're trying to use. Now, in a font psychology, whatever you're trying to do is that the font you are trying to use it to illustrate what you are doing. You don't use fonts that you won't be able to read. If you want to touch a font, you have to have written it down. It's like you're trying to write running fast. You haven't written it down and you're going to download font. Write it down first and look at it. If the U, if this space in the U, the space in between this U, the space in between this U, if it is closed, can I still know that it's running? If the space in between this R is closed, can I know that it's still running? If these two want to go and merge, would I still know that it's saying running? It's functionality that you're trying to consider. You understand? Before you try to move everything in your design. Now, in this design, all you just need to do is get the image on you could source the image on Google or you could source it on Canva.